Okay, call the meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Mr. Kaminsky.
Here.
Mr. Desarno.
Here.
Mrs. Bradford.
Here.
Mayor Morgan.
Here.
Ms. Munoz.
Present.
Mrs. McKnight. Here. Mrs. Belinska.
Present.
Salute the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So, Borough Council meeting, Borough of New Providence, County of Union, State of New Jersey, adequate notice has been given in accordance with P.L. 1975, Chapter 231. Then an annual notice of revision was made in conformance with Section 13 of the Act. Okay, we already went through our executive session, so we're going to have the public hearing of ordinance 2205. Please read the title.
Bond ordinance providing for various capital improvements in and by the Borough of New Providence in the County of Union, New Jersey, appropriating $5,162,700, therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $2,760,000 bonds or notes of the borough to finance part of the costs thereof.
Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
I'll second that. Okay. What this ordinance is going after the bond issue for various projects throughout the borough. If anybody has any questions or comments on that ordinance and that ordinance only, please raise your hand. Seeing none, I declare the public hearing closed. Roll call, please.
Mr. Kaminsky.
Aye.
Mr. Desarno.
Aye.
Mrs. Bradford.
Yes.
Mr. Munoz.
Yes.
Mrs. McKnight.
Yes.
Mrs. Belinska.
Aye.
Okay. Before we start, it's National Gun Violence Awareness Day. We all know what happened today in Texas. 15 people were killed at an elementary school. Details are just coming in. I know that, thank God there was a school resource officer there. Apparently it was kids out on the playground or in an open area, and they were sadly killed. So before we do this, why don't we have a moment of silence? Thank you. Kathleen, would you come up? Yeah, I do. I'm happy to read this because a couple of years ago I signed on, and I think it's very important. A lot of people get mixed up with this organization about banning the cancel the Second Amendment, things like that. Not what this isn't what this is about. It's about, being aware of illegal guns. I know all of us back here, we take it up to support the Constitution of the United States and the state of New Jersey. And anything with the word illegal, we definitely, support the anything with illegal guns. It's becoming more prevalent, and I don't know if it's because of social media or whatever. I think a lot has to do with mental illness, and I know Nadine has come up with a committee for mental illness, so we want to be on top of that too, and I know the chief has been involved hand in hand with us. Whereas every day more than 110 Americans are killed by gun violence, alongside more than 200 who are shot and wounded. On an average, there were nearly 16,000 gun homicides every year. And whereas Americans are 26 times more likely to die by gun homicide than people in other high-income countries. And whereas New Jersey has 439 gun deaths every year, with a rate of 4.9 deaths per 1,000 people, New Jersey has the 47th highest rate of gun deaths in the United States. And whereas gun homicides and assaults are concentrated in cities, with more than half of all firearm-related gun deaths in the nation occurring in 127 cities. And whereas cities across the nation, including New Providence, are working to end senseless violence with evidence-based solutions. And whereas protecting public safety in the communities they serve is the mayor's highest responsibility. And whereas support for the Second Amendment rights of law-abiding citizens goes hand in hand with keeping guns away from people with dangerous histories. And whereas mayors and law enforcement officers know their communities best and are most familiar with local criminal activity and how to address it, and are best positioned to understand how to keep their citizens safe. And whereas gun violence prevention is more than ever as COVID-19 pandemic continues to exacerbate gun violence after more than 2 years of increased gun sales, increased calls to suicide and domestic violence hotlines, and increase in city gun violence. Whereas in January 2013, Hadia Pendleton was tragically shot and killed at age 15 on June 3rd, 2022, to recognize the 25th birthday of Hadia Pendleton. People across the United States will recognize National Gun Violence Awareness Day and wear orange to tribute to Hadia Pendleton and other victims of gun violence and the loved ones of those victims. And whereas the idea was inspired by the group of Hadia, I hope I'm saying that right. Hadia,
You did.
okay, who asked for their classmates to commemorate her life by wearing orange. They chose this color because hunters wear orange to announce themselves and other hunters went out in the woods, and orange is a color that symbolizes the value of human life. Whereas anyone can join this campaign by pledging to wear orange on June 3rd, the first Friday in June in 2022, and help raise awareness about gun violence. And whereas by wearing orange on June 3rd, 2022, Americans will raise awareness about gun violence and honor the lives of gun violence victims and survivors. And whereas we renew our commitment to reduce gun violence and pledge to do everything we can to keep the firearms out of the hands and encourage responsible gun ownership to help keep our children safe. Now therefore I, Alan Morgan, Mayor of the Borough of New Providence, proclaim the first Friday in June 3rd, 2022 to be National Gun Violence Awareness Day to honor and remember all the victims and survivors of gun violence and encourage all citizens to support the efforts to reduce gun violence. Thank you, Kathleen.
Oh, thank you.
You're quite welcome.
Did you get a picture?
Chief, you want to come up there too?
Can I have someone take a picture? This is gonna have to get it home.
To prove it. Well, thank you, Kathleen. I know you and Samantha feel very strong. This is yours.
Oh, thank you
Yeah.
so much.
And I want to thank you for all that you do. And we're 100% behind you.
Thank you.
And everything.
Appreciate it.
So,
All right.
thank you.
Thank you.
Take care. I did over.
There you go.
Sorry.
Who's scared? How do you say Donna's last name? Who's scared?
Okay. I have an appointment, Donna Vucio, Mental Health Literacy Committee. Have a motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
No, so be it. Is there any approval for minutes for May 10th?
So moved.
Second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
No, so be it. Correspondence, City of Summit, individual permit for freshwater wetlands. Johan Donalachalio, Board of Adjustment, and Alan Swanson, walking and bike safety. Alan, I read your letter, I see you're here. I received something from the police department about all they're doing for pedestrian safety. Chief, I have to tell you, they've completed a lot, Kevin. I know you're working with them hand in hand and getting more flashers up. I mean, you've done a lot of striping. You've done a number of things. We've gotten the speed limits changed, and there's a lot more to come. So I'm going to thank you. And what's nice is that after we did that traffic survey, a lot has been done, and there's a lot in progress.
Very hard. They've done an excellent job.
It's just incredible what they've done already, especially with all the red tape you have to go through with the state and the DOT. It's just incredible. Okay, let's go to council business. Community activities, Pete.
Thank you, Mayor. Resolution 2022-124 is a salary resolution for some additional summer camp employees. Resolution 2022-125 is a resolution approving partial payment number 3, which is the final payment for Paserno Giordano Construction in the amount of $28,515.17 for the Lincoln Field synthetic turf improvement. This is the final payment.
Okay, Matt, engineering.
And I can just add that I'm away in today. I saw 2 T-ball teams out there playing or coach pitch today. It's really great to see the kids out on the field using them. Resolution 2022-126 is a resolution amending agreement between the Borough of New Providence and CGP&H LLC for affordable housing advisory services that were approved February 8th, 2022. So this is an amendment to the original contract that we approved back in February. This adds additional services for affordability assistance and housing rehabilitation programs. This contract, the original contract was not to exceed $4,000. This contract is not to exceed $9,900.
Might as well keep rolling on finance.
Thank you. Resolution 2022-127 is a resolution providing for the insertion of any special item of revenue in the 2022 budget pursuant of NJS 40A 4-87, Chapter 159, PL 1948, Union County Youth Leadership Grant. This is a resolution that inserts $3,646 into our budget, which was a grant we received that will go to the Municipal Alliance. Resolution 2022-128 is a resolution authorizing payment of the attached bills payable lists in the amount of $5,737,256.85. Significant items in this bills payable list include the County of Union second quarter county purpose tax of $3,551,302. Also, the County of Union's second quarter open space tax of $112,900. The City of Summit's $863,061, our annual industrial sewer charge. Depository trust of $658,208, which is our principal and interest on our debt service. DLS contracting, $148,639 for road paving. State of New Jersey, $105,407 for our health, the May state health benefit premiums. And Cephali & Son contracting for our 2022 sidewalk program of $49,228.
Okay, Rob, legal.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Resolution 2022-129, resolution in support of Senate Bill S-330 and Assembly Bill A-1012. So every year, Verizon and Comcast, they pay us a yearly, fee for the rights of way through our town, so they can run their wires and fiber optics Likewise, the gas and electric companies used to do the same, and it used to be collected by New Providence, but at some point, the state of New Jersey decided to take those funds and use them to fill budget gaps. So this resolution supports legislation in the Assembly and Senate that would call for the state to give us that money back.
I know when they first did it, we lost, and that was back in the early 2000s, I guess. We lost like $300,000 for that. And, you know, that money rightfully belongs to the Borough of New Providence. And it was wrong back then, and it's still wrong that the state is taking that money from the municipalities. And I hope that they change this, because it, like I said, it was wrong back then, and it's still wrong. Okay, Municipal Alliance, Nadine.
Thank you, Mayor. Resolution 2022-130 is a resolution of the Borough of New Providence, County of Union, State of New Jersey, submission of an application for the DMHAS grant, funding year 2023. So this is just the application for the Municipal Alliance to get the usual grant that we get each year.
Okay. Public Safety, we have appointing a volunteer intern for the Police Department, Michael Gellamini. And we, the next resolution, 132, will be authorizing the sale of the service weapon to Chief Gazaway. Now, Chief, I know August 1st is coming quick, you know. You have till July 31st to change your mind. Okay. I can't tell you how sorry I am to see you go. And I know the council and the community feels the same. Thank you for all you've done. Okay, Public Works, Lisa.
Thank you, Mayor. We have Resolution 2022-133. This is a resolution approving change order number 2 for DLS Contracting, Inc., the amount of $25,485.79. This is for Brookside Drive, Glenbrook Road, Fairview Avenue, and Elkwood Avenue improvements. Resolution 2022-134 is a resolution approving partial payment, partial payment number 2 for DLS Contracting in the amount of $143,639.15. Also for those same roads, Brookside, Glenbrook, and Fairview, and Elkwood. Then we have Resolution 2022-135. This is the resolution appointing Michael Giamella as roadman of the Public Works Department for the Borough of New Providence. So he will be joining the DPW as a roadman starting May 31st.
Okay.
This month.
Thank you. Any discussion on them? Nothing, seeing none. Okay, we'll do council reports. And I'll go first. First I wanted to say I'm very happy that Memorial Day Parade is on. It's going to start at 10 o'clock at Central Avenue and end up at the Memorial Library with the service. And hot dogs are going to be given out by the Legion Post, as they do every year. There will also be a ceremony at 9 o'clock over in Veterans Park on South Street. Then we listen to a speech at 9:45 at the Presbyterian Church. And Chief, it's your job to get me to the front of the parade.
I know that. I'll be there.
But I can't tell you how happy I am that we're going back live. And Bernadette, I want to thank you for when we couldn't go live and you did the virtual parade. You know, we should still put that on every year because I think it was just really nice. Shows the past of what we were going through. Nadine and I attended the Gateway Chamber of Commerce dinner where the 21 communities talk about their towns, and the Sharing Network sponsored our table. Had a good time. Met a lot of new people, and you know, it was a good time. All I can say is that the utility upgrades are being done, throughout the borough. Just please be patient. It's not easy for anyone, but as you can see, we had a big water main break the other day at the end of Central, and our infrastructure's old, and there's no way to get around it. These things are going to happen, so the upgrades are needed. I'm going to leave the next one, the Boy Scout Eagle Scouts, to you because you're the chairman, and it was just a terrific day, and 5 Eagle Scouts. I mean, New Providence puts out so many Eagle Scouts, and for the size of this community, I think we've had 7 already this year. So, the next chat with the mayor is June 3rd, 6:30 to 8. Anybody wishing to come to the Lincoln Room and discuss anything, very informal, you're more than welcome to do it. And I think that's it for me. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, one other thing. I went on a Zoom call yesterday with Congressman Malinowski about the Passaic River. As you know, a few years ago, we worked with the County of Union to work on some snagging projects, and Amy Wagner took that on to coordinate everything. There were a lot of people on that call. Mayors for up the river, Somerset County Engineering, Union County Engineering, Morris County Engineering. It was really good. And you know what? Amy Wagner is going to try and coordinate everything because, like they said to the congressman, it's all great to say this. I've been hearing this since 1999 with Hurricane Floyd about the Passaic River. And everything has been concentrated on the other side of the county with the Rahway River and Cranford and down to Boundbrook and really nothing with the Passaic River. And, hopefully we're going to be able to get something done. That she's going to coordinate with the other counties and the other towns, and hopefully we'll be able to clean a lot of it up. It was brought up that it's not only the trees that fall in, but it's the amount of silt that collects in the river, which is it's a big problem. So hopefully we can get something done, and like I said to the congressman, there has to be a joint effort with everybody. So we'll see where we go from there. And that's all I have. Matt.
Thanks, Mayor. Just to piggyback your comment on the utilities, I believe the gas company finished Newcomb today, so that Woodbine Circle in Newcomb is finally complete. I just want to ask, maybe we make sure that we follow through. I guess the next step is we'll be paving Newcomb, right, or at least part of Newcomb. Okay. And then I just walking the area. There's just still a lot of equipment, there's plates, there's cones, and hopefully we can finally clean that up and move those things on to the next street that they go to. Unfortunately, but
You don't like looking at them?
it's been months. It's been months. It was a tough period, right? The winter, and they started in the winter and all that stuff. So, but it's done, and it's done perfect timing because of all the sports activities that are happening at the park and all the traffic now coming in and out. So it's nice that that's cleaned up. Finance committee, I think we just sent you some time. So our next meeting, we should be discussing now that the bond ordinance has been completed, what our next steps are there. Some more to come on that. Planning board, we just heard a deck expansion, so it was an easy one. And public art today actually attended the installation of the green sculpture in Harmony Park. Like I said before, green's my favorite color. And the artist pointed out to me it is the town color, so
Pioneer green.
Pioneer green, and it's pretty neat. So if you have a chance, if you're walking around the borough, check out Harmony Park and our new sculpture.
Great. Thank you, Pete.
Yeah, Mayor. Sustainability team will meet tomorrow night for our monthly meeting, and a couple of important feel-good type things. Continuing this town's excellence, quite frankly, in whether it's academics or athletics or music or it seems like just about everything our kids do. Girls lacrosse won their game earlier today and advanced to the state sectional Final Four, so big win for them. I attended the EMS open house on Tuesday, May 17th, and a couple takeaways. Number one, very impressed obviously with the expertise, the level of volunteerism. These are people that give so much of their valuable time, and it's just amazing. But I think the biggest word I would use is just a level of compassion. I mean, these are the people in your time of need that you're going to want to see, and these are very caring individuals. New Jersey Sharing Network, you mentioned, Mayor. Annual 5K. This is an organization, for those of you who don't know, that's based right here in New Providence. It's actually what's called an organ procurement organization. They're responsible for the majority of the state for the procurement of organ and tissue donations. So right here in our town of New Providence, these are the folks that help to steward the gift of life, whether it's a heart, lung, kidney, or tissue, such as skin tissue, or in my case, full disclosure, I'm a double cornea transplant recipient. So a wonderful organization that does many good things for people in the state. So their annual 5K is June 5th, and thousands of people will show up. If you're interested in participating, please check out their website. Finally, myself and Mayor are both members of the Lions Club, and something that is also near and dear to my heart. I picked up the glasses. You may have noticed that we have a mailbox in front of our library as a collection point for to donate glasses. And I picked them up this week, and I sorted them out, and along with the president of our club, we mailed them into the collection facility. But here again is another example of New Providence stepping up. There were 397 pairs of glasses in that mailbox that we've now sent in that will help others around the world to see. So thank you, New Providence.
Well, they also do hearing aids too.
I think you might be right. I'm not sure. This box was all glasses, but you might be right.
Pete, will that mailbox be staying there?
Yeah, it's permanently there.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. So it's so nice to get back to old normal. Our weekends around town are really picking up, and there's always something going on in New Providence. This last weekend was the same, even through the heat. Saturday, I was fortunate enough to be able to attend two events. First was Relay for Life. That was noon until midnight over at the Connell Park. So it's Relay for Life is New Providence, Berkeley Heights, Summit, and Mountainside. It was very nice to have that event back to support the American Cancer Society. Fully run by students. So there's a student group. We had, I think, 3 teams from New Providence High School. It's definitely not to the full scale as it has been in the past, but it's nice to have that again. So I went back and forth to that a couple of times. The highlight for me is the Luminaria Ceremony. So people can purchase a Luminaria bag, and they can dedicate it either to somebody who's lost their battle to cancer, somebody who is a survivor, or somebody who is currently suffering from cancer. The Luminaria Ceremony was around the whole entire track. It was absolutely beautiful, very emotional. I'm very happy to attend that. Also on Saturday, Councilwoman Belisca and I attended the Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Day over in Summit. So different diversity committees working together produced an amazing event. Many different vendors had food creation displays. They gave out food samples. There was a stage that was constantly active. They gave performances, demonstrations. I did do some Bollywood dancing, I have to admit. And they had it was just a wonderful, wonderful day. So great thanks to the diversity committee in our town and the other towns that participated in that. Yesterday was every 15 minutes, which is put on by the Municipal Alliance. Again, nice to go back to the old normal. So again, that's a simulation of drunk driving that is put on by our juniors and seniors. The juniors and seniors, there's a simulation of an accident that happened right in front of the high school. All the rest of the juniors and seniors come out and it's tarped over. And they pull the tarp back and the scene unfolds. There's a video that's taken of that. That video was shown today at the high school. We are gonna look to get that circulated out to as many people as possible. Very important, very moving message. A couple of thank yous on that. Our very own Councilwoman Bliska was in charge of the makeup. She did a great job. Glass shards out of people's heads and arms.
Plexiglass. We didn't use glass.
Yeah, but I mean, of course. Outstanding. Big thanks to our police department, our fire department, our EMS volunteers came and helped with that to make that as realistic as possible. Councilman DeSarno's daughters were both in it. They all did a great job. And lastly, you may notice there are green ribbons tied around all of the poles in town. That is for Mental Health Awareness Month. And thank you to the Mental Health Advocacy and Education Committee and Councilwoman McKnight for putting those up. So that helps us remember that this month is about mental health. And that's it for me.
And we're looking for members.
And we're looking for members. So please, anybody who would like to join us, please go on to the Contact Us page or the volunteer page on the Borough website. We are looking for members. We're going to be meeting shortly to kick that off and get that moving. Thank you.
Rob?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So as the mayor mentioned, Troop 63 in town, one of the Boy Scout troops, we have two in New Providence, but Troop 63 has been around since 1927, and they've always been very active ever since that time. So this year is no different than any other. So Sunday we had 5 scouts rank up to Eagle Scout. Guion Goda, Michael Stoughton, Bauer Crooks, Hytham Awad, and Ivan Grandal. So all those boys put in a lot of hours on the Eagle Scout project and some of them benefited in Providence, and they finally made it to Eagle. And they're all going to move on soon to college, so we're going to miss those boys in our troop. Diane's husband is actually one of our ASMs, our Scoutmasters in our troop, so he's been a big help as well. But other than that, that's all I have.
Okay, Lisa.
So DPW, just some updates there. Our summer help started, so hopefully that will help alleviate some of the burden from our DPW guys. Memorial Day is coming, like Mayor said, so the banners are hung and ready for the parade. The park right here has been spruced up and looks lovely and also ready for some ceremonies. The library, so a couple of us and some of the library board members attended just before this meeting, a strategic focus group that is being run by an organization that the library hired to create the strategic plan. And it was very insightful, and it was a great opportunity to give your feedback on what you would like to see the library offer, or what you would like to see from your local library. The library is one of our borough's, most valuable assets. So this is our opportunity to help shape that and to help steer it where we want it to go. So I really encourage everyone, if you can, to participate in one of these focus groups and give your feedback, give some of your thoughts on that. So if there's a QR code that we might post up on the website, and I'll give it to Bernadette to post. So if you do the QR code, you can sign up that way, I believe, or just call over to the library and tell them that you want to participate in one of the focus groups. It would be much appreciated. And a survey. There's a survey. The QR code is a survey.
Diane?
One other thing about every 15 minutes, when I was there, EMS and fire department are there, and you would look and see so many of our New Providence High School alumni who were volunteering their time, which is, and the counselors and everybody was actually commenting on that. So I don't know if I commented about this before, but for the Board of Education, our schools have are again Best Community for Music Education as nominated by the NAMM Foundation, and it's the 10th time that we've received that. At AAPI, there was a booth manned by our New Providence High School students who are in the Japanese classes. So shout out to Emi Goswami and Samit Sangal, who are two of the kids who spent probably the entire time, which was about 4 hours in the heat. They did a fantastic job.
Origami.
They did origami, they did storytelling. It's posted on different websites. It's amazing. If anybody wants a nice night out, Wednesday and Thursday, the 25th and the 26th in the cafeteria, you can go see our individual students with their voice concerts, freshmen and sophomores and juniors and seniors on Thursday, and Wednesday is freshmen and sophomores. Historical Society membership drive is in full swing, so please consider joining. They are also looking for docents. Their flea market will be on June 11th at the Saltbox Museum. Go to their website and you can see some little snippets of CBS's John Elliott and his visit to the Saltbox Museum. And exciting news, cemetery tours. We're looking for a couple of dates in June, so those will be back. And that's it.
Terrific. The one thing in the past that I've noticed, and I'm so proud, is that how the police, the fire, and the EMS, and the road department, whenever there's an emergency, they work hand in hand. We're like one big family here in New Providence, and you can't say that about all the towns. And each one knows their jobs, and then whenever somebody is shorthanded, the other group goes in there and pitches right in. So we are extremely fortunate. The other thing I just want to mention is that car thefts are still here. Please lock your car, take your keys out of the car. Don't leave your key fob in the car. That's where most thefts come. Thieves just see the keys in the ignition, or they see the key fob sitting right there. That's what they're going after, the easy take. So please, at this point, Bernadette, you have anything?
I don't.
Okay, Kevin. Kevin Boyers from our engineering company, and give us an update of what's going on.
Good evening, everyone. For some pictures so I can show the shopping mall, 2 bridges that are complete now. The first one talking about this Mead Lane Bridge that was installed in April, as well as the Douglas Street Bridge. Both of those bridges were actually anticipated to be installed in June and beginning of July timeframe. The contractor actually pulled that in a little bit, but really built the time of the bridge structure itself is that's manufactured separately at a separate facility, basically it's a big structure picked up, placed, make it sound easy, but just pulled onto the existing elements and do some finished concrete work here. So this is the Mead Lane one. The prior bridge, as you remember, they had steel beams underneath it. There was wood decking, some fencing. The new structure we have now is it's an entirely steel frame structure. Has concrete decking, and then some fiber, wood railings on the side just for handrails. But the structure you see there now is something that's going to last the next 30, 50 years. So the way it's built, heaven forbid there's another flood like we had, damage to this is going to be a lot less and a lot more sustainable to the floodwater that we did have during Ida. So the other bridge looks very similar, a little bit shorter, but the other one's at Douglas.
Now is the Commerce Street Bridge the same type?
Yes, so Commerce Street Bridge is very similar to these. It's a longer span. That one has a little bit more work to it, though, because you do have to pour new foundations. The existing bridge there was all wood structure. It had wood piers, it had wood beams going across, and the foundation was basically just a big poured concrete slab in the ground. So that's all going to get removed. The structure's been removed itself. The only thing left right now is the concrete abutments. Those will be removed, and then new concrete abutments will kind of realign the bridge so it's more. Before it went at an angle, now it's going to go straight across. It reduces the span, makes it a little bit easier to comply with the DEP standards. But it'll be similar in look and style as these. Currently, it's with the manufacturer. He's reviewing everything now. He's going to start doing the shop drawings and fabrication. So there's a little bit of back and forth for the next week, 2 weeks. But they're going to start fabrication. We're anticipating delivery of that structure mid-August, mid-August. So we should have it complete by September. We might lead a little bit to the beginning of September. We'll see where they come. But they did come in.
No, I'm going to hear August.
They
Before school.
They give us a worst case scenario, but the other bridges came in 6 months.
Because I
6
know
weeks earlier. So
you're tired of hearing from Bernadette 9.
so we are pushing them. I spoke to the contractor earlier today, and he said that they don't see an issue of being able to get it done in August. The manufacturer's given them a little longer lead time, but he said that they did the same thing with the other 2 bridges, but they're able to pull that in.
Okay. Where do we stand with the rapid flashers?
The rapid flashers, the ones that are on Central and Balcom and Spring, those are in process now. We're actually looking to realign some of that because we start the install and to move the flashers so they're more visible because there's a couple of blind spots. There's an existing utility pole on the side that would kind of block the beacon. So we're looking to maybe separate that or do something a little bit differently. That way it's a little bit more visible. So I spoke with the installer today. We're going to meet probably by the end of the week just to come up with some options to maybe separate the beacons. We have kind of one on either side of that utility pole, and then the one across the street on Balcom. We're going to look to redo the handicap ramp just to provide a little bit more room for the foundation, because right now it was located a little bit farther back away from the road, just because it didn't have room for the foundation. But we're going to look to redo a little bit of concrete work to get a little more visibility for that.
Great.
But they have all the material. As soon as we kind of figure out the layout.
Traffic engineer yesterday on site.
Okay.
Yeah. So once they figure out the layout, they'll be able to install it the next week or 2.
Terrific. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Look forward to seeing that bridge.
Those 2 look great.
Yeah. Okay, at this time we have public comments. Please raise your hand, give your name and address, and limit your comments to 3 minutes. Alan.
I had a couple of items to bring up tonight about the budget, about the bike safety issue that I brought up. But I find it impossible to focus on that because of the horrific incident that happened today in Texas. It's just not possible to do it. I want to say a little bit, I think I've mentioned my background a little bit in the past, but I was trained as a speech pathologist. I spent 15 years in the Baltimore County school system. I spent time at Children's Specialized Hospital before I moved on to administrative and became a director of rehab for the last 18 years that I worked. In fact, I was the director at what is called Spring Grove now when I retired. I've worked with children who are victims of gun violence, who were disabled from that violence, who were quadriplegics from that violence. My wife, who's an occupational therapist, has worked with children who survived the gun violence that they experienced. They survived. Today, 14 children didn't survive. I know in New Providence that we've said in the past, 2 years ago tomorrow, when George Floyd was murdered, that it's not going to happen here. And I believe it's not going to happen here because we have a wonderful chief of police, and I regret that we're losing you as well. But that's the refrain. And the problem is that in Newtown, Connecticut, they said it's not going to happen here. And they had to tear down Sandy Hook Elementary School because 26 people were killed. They didn't think it was going to happen in Parkland, Florida. Now they have a park commemorating the 17 who were killed at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School. I met some of the students who traveled around the country after that to provide awareness. This morning in Uvalde, Texas, the parents of those 14 children, the family of the teacher, said it's not going to happen here. And now 14 of them are gone, and one adult. These three instances are just a small sample of the mass shootings taking place across our nation all the time. So tonight you passed a resolution that says cities across the nation, including New Providence, are working to end the senseless violence, evidence-based solutions. Weapons of war are designed to kill as quickly and effectively as possible. So are large magazines of weapons. They exist for no other purpose. I was trained on them. I was in the infantry. That is why they do not belong in your hands or my hands, or the hands of those who look at the evidence and find that those weapons of war are going to be the most effective in the carnage that they want to undertake. Further states encourage responsible gun ownership to help keep our children safe. Is it responsible to allow civilians to possess weapons of war? I think not. Finally, it states, encourage all citizens to support efforts to reduce gun violence. I ask you or everyone, is allowing an 18-year-old to purchase a legal weapon of war and take it to a grocery store and kill 11 people an effort to reduce gun violence? I don't think so. Nadine, and it's been brought up again tonight, 15-minute program, maybe mentioned it on April 12th, which is about young people and drunk driving, and 15 minutes, every 15 minutes, people being killed or injured from drunk driving. In this country, every 13 minutes, a fellow citizen is killed by a gun. Today, that number went down because 14 children are no longer with us. I'm going to wear orange on June 3rd to increase awareness of gun violence and to support because of my experience. But you know, that awareness on June 3rd and the wearing of the orange is going to pass. And we need to stop making believe that this is going to go away. It's not. We have 400 million guns in this country. Why?
Thank you for your comments. One clarification is that I don't think any of us said it couldn't happen here. And I think after, I guess, Sandy Hook, Chief Uselli and I, with Adam Smith, the board president, and Dr. Michelli, we got together and had a town hall, and we came up with a plan for school resource officers. We were one of the first communities to have a school resource officer program. And it's worked extremely well. very successful. I think the comment you're referring to is when there was a walk out there, and with the George Floyd, I said, you know, it wouldn't happen here. And my meaning was because our officers here in New Providence are extremely well trained to handle any type of situation. I don't know what happens in Minneapolis. Apparently, there were a lot of different factors there, but I know that any incident that occurs here is handled by the chief personally, and and rectified if there's a problem. That's why I said that specific incident wouldn't happen here. As for the children, it could happen anywhere. How do you defend against crazy? But we do our best. I know the chief and the whole police department is fully engaged. They have active shooter training. They work with the schools. And Nadine brought up, and her and Lisa have been working on this mental health thing. There were flags that come up. But what concerns me is when the flags come up, nothing's done about it. And I think that's where our problem is. When you see people and these red flags come up, nothing's done. And I would hope, and I'm sure if a red flag comes up in New Providence, that we're going to act on it. So I'm very confident in what our police department does here. The new county prosecutor is an outstanding person. I can't say enough about him. There's a big change in Union County, and I'm very happy about the change. So at that point, Alan, I feel your pain. I think we all do. I mean, what a horrible thing the last couple days between Buffalo and Uvalde. And we all wish it would end because it's senseless. So thank you for your comments tonight. Anyone else wishing to address council? Seeing nobody, I declare the public hearing closed. I need a motion for items 1 through 12, please.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Kaminsky?
Aye.
Mr. Desarno?
Aye.
Mrs. Stratford?
Yes.
Mr. Munoz?
Yes.
Mrs. McKnight?
Yes.
Mrs. Ballista?
Aye.
Okay, can I have a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
No, so be it. Thank you all for coming tonight, and I want everybody to have a happy, and nice and safe Memorial Day. Thank you.